to take a moment to introduce our next guest for the evening, who I don't know. I think he just ran in here with a clan. Like every few seconds, like this door is opening. You know, I got PTSD, man. You can't be. You gotta warn me when stuff like that happens.
Familia strong, man.
Look, I see. Like, Familia was about to catch one of these. But this guy was a guest on the show in one of our earlier episodes, man. He came through and kicked it, man. Talked a little bit about his movement and some of the shows and things that he had coming up. And of course, as we were starting to get into the momentum of the summer and we're booking all these other artists on top of doing the shows and the tours that we're on, hit me up and was like, yo, I had fun doing the show. I want to come back, do it again. So it's like, all right, cool. So let's set this up. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you got something else to talk about, got something else to help promote and whatnot. So let's go ahead and bring you back in. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Hunnid is back in the building with us today. What's going on, guys?
Yes, sir, man. I'm living, man. I can't complain, man.
Word.
Staying out the way and staying blessed.
So I'm gonna tell you, like you came in, you got your crew with you. You know, everybody representing you with the shirts, CCG.
Oh yeah, you know that's the logo, man.
All right, so everybody's got that rocking. And one of the craziest things, like I saw you coming, like I knew you were coming in.
Facts.
And I knew this wonderful young lady sitting in the corner was gonna come in as well.
Facts.
And then I looked up as I'm talking, and I see this young man come in, right?
Yeah.
And as I look at this young man, like I stopped for a moment. Because this young man was actually a former student of mine at one of the schools I used to work at.
Oh,
right?
Hey,
so,
small world.
I know, right? So as soon as he walked through the door, I'm looking like, yo, I know this kid. I don't remember which one of those schools it was.
Right.
But as soon as I look at him, I'm like, yo, I know this guy. So
hey, we
now
everywhere,
it's
man.
I see, man. Your family's everywhere.
One
so,
call.
all right. So it's good to have you back. And you got another young man who's coming here with you. Look a little shy, like you got something you want to talk, like introduce the crew, like you know what I'm saying, like you in here, like you just gonna sit here looking like you just gonna mean muggers the rest of the night. Like, yeah, everything's on, like let's get it.
Chime in, you know.
So introduce your people to it, man. Who you got here with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the gang CCG there, but I'll let you introduce yourself, man. Who you with?
I ain't got no name.
That's what we on?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long 2 hours.
I just ain't got no name. They don't know me.
All right, good to go. That's understandable.
Over here, though.
CCG, all that.
All that.
All right, cool. Well, we went from
we got no name in the
we got no names in the building. It's all good though.
Hey, Hunnid ain't got no name.
Now here's the thing, Mr. No Name.
Yeah.
I just want you to be mindful that number one, you gotta watch the language while you're here, and number two, there's a camera over there, so you might want to make sure that on top of the message. I see. Okay, I want to make sure that you come. All right, so next time let us know, man. We'll get a mask or something for you. You good? So, all right, cool. So man, it's been seeing a lot of different stuff going on, man. With you, seeing your movements,
Most definitely.
got the video out. You know what I'm saying? So tell us a little bit about, man, what you've been up to since the last time we talked, yo.
Since the last time we talked, man, I've been going crazy in the booth, but I've been handling the business behind it. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
My teammate, I feel like I was Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? After I dropped the last little single, you feel me? So right now I'm trying to get back, get the team together right, so we can win this championship, because you can't drop all this content, without proper awareness. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure that my team right, so that right impact is there once I drop. There's good music.
Gotcha. So yeah, man, I've been looking and seeing a lot of the different remixes and whatnot you've been working on.
CCG mix.
You know what I'm saying? So you definitely making some moves. Now, there's still getting a lot of play out of the Money Up joint. So
yeah, definitely.
Tell me a little bit about, man, what are some of the shows, man? Where are some of the places you've been since our last combo, man?
Oh man, you gonna have to take me back, because I know I definitely been to. When was I here? May or April? May? April?
I think it was April.
Was it April?
Was it April? Yeah,
Look at y'all. Okay. Well, just
like I do this every week. Like I don't remember who was here 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Like
I say give or take May or April.
Somewhere around.
I think off the top, Cincinnati, man.
Okay.
It's probably was New York and Cincinnati, but I'll say Cincinnati for sure.
Okay.
Me and Ain't Got No Name. We hit the stage and we went crazy.
Okay.
You feel me? Perform some unreleased songs and the little Money Up joint, and the crowd was, man, they was rocking like they heard it on the radio before. I mean, they was singing the whole hook. Ain't even had to sing it. I was extending the mic. You feel me?
I beat that myself.
Yeah, So I just been going crazy, man. Cincinnati was the last big trip, but I I came back home to get my mind right and get the team right. Since I talked.
Did New York too, nigga.
Yeah, so I think
So the New York shows in there too. Alright, cool.
Yeah, so moving, man. We moving.
Alright, so with all this, one of the things you mentioned a couple of times since you've been here, man, is just getting the team right?
Facts.
So there's a lot of artists, a lot of people out here, man, that just feel like they're a one man show, right?
Right.
So even when your stage show is a one man show, like there's a lot of folks that seem to think that they can make this happen
Right.
by themselves. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you, man, how important is it to have your team, and what for you do you think your team needs to consist of?
Man, having a team that's imperative, man. If you don't have a team, like, you're gonna fail. I mean, it's just that simple because no man can do it by himself. I mean, you look at LeBron, he had to surround the cast. You look at Michael Jordan, he had to surround the cast. So even though those players are the forefront of the brand, they still need those surrounding pieces.
Right.
And for me, man, I think that I'm happy with my team, most definitely. But business-wise, it is where, you know, I need the right pieces that come into play. I need someone to be as passionate, or the firm, or the label, or the company that's going to be pushing me. I need them to be as passionate as me. I think that's the most important thing, because if you're not as passionate as me, then you're not going to want to push it, you know, how I feel, you know what I'm saying? I sleep, eat, you know, all this, you feel me? So if you don't feel the same way, then you're going to contribute 30, but I need 100, you know what I'm saying, at minimum, you feel me? So that's what I need. That's most important for me. And as long as you have that, the rest will fall in place.
Okay. All right. So when trying to keep it and get that 100% push from these different people, like starting ground roots level, like who are some of the people, or what are some of the things that you felt like you needed to help get you moving and whatnot? So when it comes to putting together your team, and I ain't saying give away all of your gems.
I can't give her the recipe, but
No. I definitely don't want the recipe.
Gotcha.
But I do want like one or two of those spices, man. Like so hit me up. Like what is one aspect of the team that you felt like you definitely needed to get on point?
Man, I would just say that's a hard question, man. For real, because I feel like I got everything that I need as far as like the CCG familiar, you know. So let's just say I'm lacking a little bit, I'm slacking, or you know, hear a beat and be like, you know what? I know you did about 20 or 30 other remixes, but you need to do this one. This one gonna go crazy, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody to let me know like it was okay, it was decent, but you need to go a little harder. So I would just say keeping those, you know, those individuals around me that's gonna let me know when I'm going 60 and when I need to turn it up, you know, some more and go a full 100 or whatever like that. So that's what I say. You know, that's a hard one for me because I feel like we good, man. You know.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you talked about the remix, the CCG mix, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of them out there, so we got to clarify which CCG mix.
That's what I'm saying. So like I've seen a few.
I know I dropped Gummo, and then after that I dropped the Lakeshore Drive.
Right.
Which is the CCG mix to the what is the original version? Look alive. There we go. Okay.
So let me ask you this then. When it comes to the remixes or the joints that you decide to remix, what is there a particular method to how you choose these joints? Is there an artist whose music you won't jump on, or like is there a particular sound that you're like, nah, I'm not gonna mess with that? Like basically, is there anything that's off limits when it comes to those remixes?
Okay, so you can hit me with an easy question. The answer to that is no. There's simply straight like that. There's no box for me, no category for me. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I'm working on CCG mixing that Maroon 5 "Girl Like You." I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, I'm everywhere with it, man. There's no boundary whatsoever. I hop on a Tupac beat, a R. Kelly joint, then mess around and remix a Bruno Mars and a Dale Justin Bieber joint.
All right, so when you're doing these remixes, are these songs that you are particularly a fan of, or are these songs that you're doing just because they're hot at the moment?
fan is a strong word. I ain't gonna lie to you, but
I'll be getting somewhere. Yeah, go ahead.
I would say the cadence could be I could like the cadence like na 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 the good lie na 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 na. So I was like, okay, I can get freaky with that. So I had to put some lyrics to it, you know, put the little CCG touch on it. Man, yeah, I just as long as it got some type of appeal to me, I'm a murderer, like straight like that. You know, I see red as long as it's hot, and you know, for the most part, it gotta be hot. I say that because I ain't gonna remix no, you know. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
So as long as it's hot.
Yeah, as long as it's hot.
Can I chime in on
Yeah, go
that?
ahead.
Though? Like
Absolutely.
if you listen to the mixes, like the hook may sound the same, but if you listen to the verses, it's not even close.
Right.
Like his cadence is different from every other cadence that you heard on all those different mixes.
Right.
Like what's buddy name? Treyway Goofy.
Oh, Takashi 12.
Yeah,
Teriyaki 14.
Yeah, with the Burger King burgers, whatever. Anyway, like if you listen to that mix, it don't sound. I mean, he couldn't do that if he tried to.
Big
He
facts.
couldn't.
No, definitely.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's not. It don't sound like what you hear. Only thing that's noticeable is the hook
Yeah.
and obviously the beat.
Yeah. I like use a little bit of that cadence just to show like, okay, I'm gonna take your style, kill you with it, then you know,
Then do mine.
and then infuse
Yeah.
my style, and then show you how I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
All right, so let me ask you, when it comes to all of these different joints, what's the ultimate purpose of the mix? When you're doing all of these different joints, what's your ultimate goal? What's your ultimate purpose with them?
since I'm so internal, man, is to be better than my previous joint. That's just me as an artist and as a person. I try to, do better than whatever the prior was. Like for me, Glocksful, if you look back at that, a lot of people don't know that that's the XXX Tentacion, Keith, Ape, and Rich Chigga remix, RPX. But it's like for me, I hit that whole track like, okay, how can I just, how could I Mortal Kombat finish him, Ryu, I do get this mug, you know what I'm saying? So, I just went crazy and stick to acapella, Spipper Brothers, Evan Deaders, Blasty Footage, shit I like it doing, and I'm gonna be butter student. I got the blueprint like the Rockefeller, talking hope and mixing soda with the Yola Honey, cold as Minnesota weather, you know what I'm saying? So, I just wanted to go crazy on it, and that's the initial purpose, just to top myself. Then after that, obviously to show the world that, okay, I can hop on Nate beat and go crazy, but do my own style to it, you know, so those are two main, purposes of it.
All right, cool. So now, when it comes to your own personal music,
Right.
like you put the mixes out to obviously to get people to listen, you know what I'm
Facts.
saying? And then once you got them in, what's the project where they can hear you be you originally?
Right. Well, there's a couple of projects already out.
Right.
And if you're a fan of mine, you already know what's going on. But
for those of them that are out there listening that don't know,
Right.
we want to make sure that we get that out to the people. So.
exactly. Malcolm Hunnid King, Love vs. Lust are very original projects, man. Love vs. Lust is kind of a sweetheart versus savage mentality. Malcolm Hunnid King is, trap conscious. Battle politics, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X-ish, but those are the man, how long ago? Like a year ago? But
interesting.
but those projects, those are original, projects that are out. But outside of that, Money Up and a couple of other joints. But yeah, that's definitely all right.
Cool. All right. See, you got anything you want to hit the people's way?
All right, I got one question. Just for now. One question.
Oh, just for now.
I got a lot of them in store, but I just got one for now. So, what is what is your favorite thing that you've ever done music-wise as far as recording? Like, what track can you name? Or three, because you got to be a fan of your own things.
Big facts.
So, what's the top 3 songs that you ever done?
Come on, mixes or originals?
Mixes, originals, pick.
I think it's funny because I think I had this conversation with somebody the other day. They tried to ask me that, and I was like, man, that's the hardest question you can ask a passionate artist. Because you taking a whole discography and just like dissect this and then like, okay, pick. But man, Glockspool is up there for me, just because it's every 8 to 12 bars I switch up the flow,
Right.
you know, and I feel like that's hard to do.
It is.
And it just shows just so many things, so many different things talent wise. Man, Jigga. I gotta think back, for real. Let me like 30 seconds.
Alright, no problem.
I'll give you mine.
Let's go.
Real level, money up, and then there's one that's unreleased. It's coming out.
You can't even do
I
that.
ain't gonna get. I'm not gonna get it for it.
I ain't got no name. Wild
Right.
right
No, I ain't dropping nothing. I'm just saying.
You
It's-
wild.
Look, it's something coming. He got some work coming for y'all, man. It's
Big facts.
good. That's my 3. But go ahead.
And okay, yeah, here we go. I start off with Glockspool. That's super rap hip hopish. You know, that's on a Love versus Lust joint. It's just real like passionate and talks about like, I'll let y'all listen to it. If you're listening, you know. But that R&B joint. And a third one would be. I don't have a third one. I'll say those 2 for now.
Alright, cool. No, I mean, and that's legit, man. It's a hard
Yeah, that's hard.
sell. Like I honestly tell people, man, when it comes to ranking music, when it comes to ranking artists, when it comes to ranking your music, man, that list could probably change up every 2-3 hours. So like,
It's big facts,
because
man.
I mean, and there's a lot that goes into that too. You got to talk. You talking about, man, the mindset that you were in when you created it, the space that you're in now, how they kind of coincide with one another.
Right.
You know, like I was having this conversation about, you know, not even on music, but just like on the theater side of things, and like the different plays that I've done. It's like there's so many different shows that I could name that I enjoy doing, but there's one particular show that I never speak of, and we call it the show that I never speak of so much I honestly forgot what the show was, the actual name of the show. I don't remember what the show was about. I just remember it was trash, and I'm so glad that nobody ever showed up to see it because it was terrible.
One of the games you glad they didn't get footage of.
Ooh, man, I'm so glad, man. This was one of those days back when we had them like giant camcorders that didn't nobody want to look around. Oh man, yeah. Because I honestly think I would have burned the tape and the theater if anybody else had seen that one. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's like that with music, man. So I'm gonna turn the question on to you though, man. Like you do a lot of different music yourself, crossing genres and whatnot as well. So give me 3 from you right now.
Okay.
You knew this was coming. I don't know why you should have
you know what? I'm gonna go by the way I was feeling when I made the songs and crowd reaction. Mr. Freeze is probably my number 1. I've been doing that track since I was 21, 22. It's an unreleased track that I have done a few times up north at Sub T.
No, that don't count. We ain't doing no
You know
unreleased. Cheating.
I was just about to say, like, man, I don't want to give it out too much, but okay. We got that. What else? Lay 'Em Down, another track, another throwback track from 22.
That sound hard. Lay 'em down.
Man, it was like a F the industry type thing.
Yeah, it sounds
like
like
it's
stuck in that
you know what? I didn't want to sit up there, and it is out there. It's out there. Like I know it's out there. It's still on my YouTube throwback page. But I was like in a situation where I was sitting up there going to these labels, looking at these contracts, and just looking like, you know, y'all just want me to basically change who I am, and I'm not about to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not sitting up there and knocking these people for who, you know, what they do, but it's not me. So Lay 'Em Down was another one, and as far as rock side, I would say Burning Bridges. Burning Bridges is another track. I sit up there, I performed with my guitar. I performed as a feature artist at the Wonder Bar back when I was still open, and B-Gabs earlier this year, Sub T actually recently. So Burning Bridges, I'ma Lay 'Em Down, and Mr. Freeze being number 1.
Dig it.
Okay,
So,
now
yeah,
you know.
I knew it was coming, so like here we go. I'm gonna keep this quick because I had a chance to think on this, and like there's so many different ones out here. So I'm gonna give you these 3 and an honorable mention. So the first one would be the challenge on the Escape from Babylon Volume 1. Like I think I just Actually, yeah, I'm gonna give you that one just because it was just a fun track to do with the brothers. Aklam, which was the solo joint that I did on that album as well.
Right.
And then there was Are You Coming on the graphic novel album.
Oh yeah.
Just because like the original version of it though was probably my favorite, but the producer got a little funny. We had to switch it up, but it was still cold. It was still a great track. So those three I think are my personal favorites. And just as an honorable mention, there's a track that I don't think anybody out here has ever actually heard, but there was a record I did with some cats out in the Pittsburgh area shortly after I got home from Iraq. And I went out there and actually just started, because I was still producing at the time too. So I was producing and I was writing and doing all this joint. And we did a joint where I wasn't even rhyming on it. I was just doing the hook, and it was called Try Me. And it was some of my favorite joints because it was the most reckless, honest, pure 22-year-old music, man. It was just so great. Like looking back at it now, like 'cause we never actually officially mixed it. So the last time I heard it, one of the cats had put it up on MySpace, and I was just like, dude, you really got people out here listening to this. And I was just like, man, because he did that one, and there was another joint that I had done that we're not even gonna mention on that record. But I was just like, yo,
So
if
my
anybody
question for
found
you
that
real
out for
quick,
me, dude, it would be crazy. Yo.
How many songs in total do you think you have? Because you picked those like those were the go-tos.
Yeah.
You know, so it was kind of quick. So I'm just curious, like how many songs total do you think you have?
I don't even know how many different genres I got right now. You know, those, let's see, Escape from Babylon 1 is 21 tracks. I mean, there's probably about a good 100 or so that are out there that I've had a part in some way, shape, or form. I think the reason those are so easy to come by was, again, not so much just the songs themselves, but the space that we were in when they were being created. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, like right now, I can honestly say, like again, if I was to answer this question again, like there's a couple more that just keep popping up. Like
Exactly.
So I mean, it's like that with most artists. Like you can tell, like one thing that we used to do every time we were making albums, like we would go back and we would listen from the first project all the way up to the last album in chronological order, just to see the growth and the progression and whatnot. And it would always get cringeworthy. Like when you get to that last project, and you've been listening to that last project for so long, and you go all the way back to the first
record
and start listening through, man. It's like pulling teeth. Like you're sitting there, like gripping the couch, like, I can't believe what I
was I doing in the booth?
Like, yo, this is ridiculous. But yeah, like again, there's some of those records out there too that, again, like if people just knew where to look and had access to, like, it'd be crazy, right? But luckily for us, like, not too many people have a hold of those records, right?
Right.
So, you know. Anywho, so you mentioned you got another project coming up in October.
Well, I got a single coming up. That should be dropping next month, man. Today's the 27th.
Today's the 27th.
Yeah, man. I'll be. But next month, man. It's the next big single. It's called Bust That. It was supposed to drop a while back, but I was trying to get my team together and make sure it was solid, on the business side, to make sure this record does what it's supposed to do. I experimented with it as far as genres go, Afrobeat, R&B, hip hop type of feel. So it's a vibe, man. It should go crazy.
Okay. What's up? Well, as soon as you drop that joint, you definitely got a spot up here. We would gladly give it a listen, let the people out there hear what you've been working on, man. So as soon as it drops, man, let us know, man. We'll definitely add that into the rotation. You know what I'm saying? So the show, man. I noticed you just did an interview out in the Bay not too long ago, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was were you out there doing a show, or were you just out there hanging out? Like,
nah, man. They actually they emailed me, and then we did a little. They wanted me to call in via phone, so I didn't get a chance to actually make that trip.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, man. So but yeah, it was a quick, cool interview, man. I don't know. Apparently, whatever I'm doing is working, man. Because they just hopped in the inbox, on my Gmail, and was like, "Yo, can you, come through for the interview?" I was like, "Cool, man." And we talked about money up, couple of other singles and stuff like that, and you know, just good music. So that's just how that little situation happened, man. But it was a solid interview.
All right,
Bay
cool.
showing the boy love.
Definitely, man. And shout out to the Bay, man. That is one place where I swear if you suck or you are trash, they will let you know without
The crazy
nothing.
part is that I've never been though.
No.
Nah.
Likewise, me neither. But through our a network with Hip Hop Congress, man, we've got so many people out in the Bay that have come out here. We used to do this thing at local colleges around the Midwest called the Midwest Summit, which was Hip Hop Congress fam, and a lot of those cats would come out and they would network with us. Actually got a chance to do a couple of records with some folks out in the Bay, based on our relationship with the Hip Hop Congress, and done a couple of like mixtapes with some folks out there, man. So the Bay is all love, and we've been pushing and trying to get out there for a minute too. Hasn't made the official announcement yet, but sometime before the end of 2018, and the crew's gonna make some announcements about some stuff stepping out that way. So it's definitely, man. It's a great group of people, man. Definitely looking forward to getting out there and kicking it with, man. So
That's dope, man.
So I noticed, like, man, you talked about the rocking out in New York and the time in Cincinnati, man. So I'm gonna ask you, for you personally, what makes for a good show? Like, when you talk about being on stage, rocking out and captivating the crowd, what to you are some of the things that you think make for a good live performance?
And this is just a super honest answer, man. I gotta keep it 100. That's mandatory, but just having fun, man. My last show in Cincinnati, man, was probably the best show to me. Just because we had fun, like the crowd reaction. Then we had one of the artists, Pops. He was out there twisting and popping. He was too old for that. He was going crazy. You feel me? But just simply having fun, man, and actually enjoying the music and living in the moment instead of focusing on like captivating the audience. Just getting out there and doing you, and just if you mess up, you mess up. You know, just that type of mentality. So, for me, just as long as you have fun, like that makes for a good show, man.
All right, cool. No Name, you got an answer for this one? What makes a good show for you when you're either on stage or when you're watching a show? What makes a good show for you?
You know, for me, when it comes to him, like I usually be on stage and I'm type man or whatever you want to call it, and we just like you wouldn't even think we was having a show. Like we just be out there clowning, you know what I mean? Especially me, I don't have no mic. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta say nothing. I'm just go up there, party with my homie, have a good time, try to get the crowd involved and make sure they have a good time too. So it's when it's organic, you know what I mean? When you don't have to get them, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to do the extra. You just go out there, put on, have fun. Everybody else have fun and make it happen.
T.
Yeah.
Should have known it was coming.
I need to expect this stuff, but I don't expect it. Well,
we don't work.
He answered the question like, I wasn't ready.
I had to think about it.
All right, fine.
No, I got it.
All right.
Energy for me is everything. Now, don't get me wrong. You can have some people are dry and they get good delivery, but that energy has to be there. You know, and good energy can make the crowd react. Good energy can make, the host or whoever runs it, hey, come back here, we like you, yada, yada, yada.
All right.
So energy is key.
Definitely. Camera person, what's your answer? Just shout it out over that way.
Oh, gosh. I was actually thinking energy, too, before he even said that. Just
from
performer to the crowd. They all got to have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For me, man, I think, depending on the genre, like, it's definitely got to be, you got to be feeling what you're doing. Like, you can't phone it in, number one. And number two, and this is just, I don't care what if you actually got to take that back. If you are a hip-hop artist, you are a rapper, you're anywhere in any of those type of genres, if you are rapping over your vocals, your whole set is trash. And that's just me. I'm sorry.
Why do you feel that way, though?
Why? Because for me, like, the stage show, man, part of that is, as part of your performance, man, to be able to have that breath support, to be able to have that oomph that comes from just being able to hold the audience with your voice is key for me. Like I have yet to see someone perform over their vocals and be like, that was a dope set. Like it's always been an asterisk by it for me, and it's just
You
like,
haven't been on my show then. That's why.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, the true artist could do both, but. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You go interject.
Why?
Hey, hold on. He just turned his whole body. He turned his whole body though.
So,
hold on.
alright, so you say this.
Yeah,
Here we go. Let's
just
get out of eye. All right.
Okay.
So you're saying, it's because I have yet to see one of your shows, and so what is it about your show then that you feel is so much better that even with the vocals on your record is going to captivate or change that?
Well, for one,
that's the first question.
It's the entire experience, and I can't elaborate on the experience because you haven't been there.
Right.
So once you come there, you can figure it out for yourself.
Okay.
So that's the end of the question. That's the answer right there.
All right, cool. Now, what stops you from taking that instrumental and just rocking the show with you and your voice without those lyrics on your vocals or on your track?
Because for one, people gonna take this how they want to, but I'm a real lyricist. I'm like the rapper word, and like I just said, stick to acapella, spit it up.
Right.
If you're a performer, you're gonna have, for one, you should know how to rap. Okay, that's one.
Right.
Then two, you need to have that energy.
Right.
After that energy, you factor in stage presence and a couple of other principles to being a great performer.
Right.
And for me, I'm bouncing around and I'm saying stuff like that and just doing so many performances that clarity may not be there for the listener. Okay, so it's something that actually helps the listener. I've been to so many shows and people be up there, you don't, what is he saying, bro? I can't hear him. You know what I'm saying? So for me, for let's just say certain tracks and I'm rapping on very, very fast or whatever,
right,
that could help clarify whatever I'm saying to the audience, as well as for me when I'm bouncing around and going super crazy. Not a crutch, don't need it. I can do both, but just saying.
All right. So
and you done both.
I hear
Yeah,
you.
definitely.
Okay. See, so because I hear you, I hear what you're saying. For me though, there's 2 points. You say it helps with the clarity, and my thing is, if your mic skills are on par, that clarity should be there.
I have to interrupt
first.
you.
All right, go ahead.
Every venue isn't equipped with state-of-the-art equipment.
Agreed.
So therefore, you have to come prepared, or else you're gonna look bad.
Now, again, I hear what you're saying. I hear where you're going with this. However, as a showman, and as someone who, and again with the energy thing, because I hear you with you exuding a lot of energy on stage. But again, as a showman, that breath support, that mic skill, those techniques, if all of those things are there and are on point, then again, you wouldn't need that crutch as you would say. But also with that, when it comes to the venue, and I get it, like, because most hip hop shows aren't doing mic checks.
No,
but as a showman, and I go back to this, if you, unless you are, even if you're the first artist on stage, there's a way for you to do that mic check and figure out what the sound is going to be like in that room and make the necessary adjustments to where you don't need those vocals on the track. So now I think this is going to be one of those where we will agree to disagree. However, I'm not going to have my mind change while we're sitting here, but I will say this though. You let me know the next time you rocking somewhere in this area, and I'm definitely out there to see and support. Number one, because I mean that's one of those things. Like, I mean, with all of the artists that have come on this show, like, if you let me know you're playing somewhere, I'm definitely trying to be out there to support, because that's what we as Coffee Breaks that we trying to do. Right. But now, not only am I trying to go out to support, but I also want to go see if what you said will hold true, that once I see your show, this is going to change my mind.
Oh, definitely.
Right? For sure. T, what else you got question-wise?
Well, okay, I'm just going to elaborate on this whole thing.
Yeah, I was going, you know.
I've actually.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Wait. Wait a minute. Let's get that response. I need to hear that real quick because I don't want to leave you and cut you off. Feel like I didn't give you a chance to say your piece.
Just to paraphrase, I think it's just a personal preference of yours. You know what I'm saying? And nothing's wrong with that because you look at all the greats, man. I think I just watched the Drake video with him performing in London, and he didn't have his vocals on, but he had an earpiece in. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's essentially the same thing. I don't really, whether you wear Nikes, Adidas, man, as long as you go out there and you kill it, for me, for real, to me, like I'm not gonna knock on whether or not they have the lyrics on or off because you've proven you can rap. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a performance. We need, you know, I mean that's definitely a principle, you know, of performing as well. But I can't really like, oh, he's trash because he got the lyrics on there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no. So I'm not saying that the artist is trash because like I'm with you. But the performance for me, like the performance, it loses something when you do that. And I can safely say, I have traveled all across the world doing this. I have met hip hop artists all across the world. I don't know many who would disagree with what I'm saying. But I also know folks who still do it. And like you say, that is definitely a preference.
Just speaking on the current music generation, man, yo, I'm at almost every like popular joint as far as like A3C, you know, South by Southwest, and seeing some of these artists that have, you know, $1,000 million, like they still up there performing like an amateur. Yeah. You know, with the vocals, and it's like I think we was in Cincinnati. I'm pretty sure I heard some vocals. You know what I'm saying? It's just like. People are doing it like.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, like, we know what's happening. Like that. We definitely know what's happening.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I know what's happening. But
I ask a question. Is this strictly about hip hop performances or performances? Period.
This is a hip hop. This is hip hop because I have known for many generations. I mean, because we all know. I mean, everybody with the exception of. James Brown and Stevie Wonder like lip synced on Soul Train. Like, you know, almost every other genre of music has that where that is the case. And even back in the early days of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And I can't even say the early days. Like, it's still something that happens in hip hop to this day. For me, and like I say, for a lot of other artists who are out here who are working to perfect that craft, building up the energy to be able to carry a 45-minute to an hour-long show. To have the energy, to have the mic skill, to make sure that every syllable, every lyric is being heard. When you are that type of a perfectionist when it comes to that craft, to see anything less than that takes away from the live performance experience. Doesn't take away from what is heard on your CD. It's not going to take away from any of the other stuff. It just for myself and a lot of other people like me, it takes away from the experience of the live set. Because for me, I'm looking at it and it's not live necessarily. It's not all live. Now, having the vocals on the hook or something like if you got somebody singing on the hook and you ain't the singer, then I'm not expecting you to have to do something outside of that. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, that's definitely just.
I think it's a lot to expect from what's being provided, and what I mean by that is you're not performing at the United Center. You're not performing at a place that has state-of-the-art equipment. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a little difficult. Like even some of these places around here, like Sylvie's Lounge. I think I did a joint over there. I mean, their equipment isn't the best. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I feel what you're saying, but I feel like it's a lot to expect from. If you go to a Drake concert, you Kanye, you know. But at this level, I guess if we're talking underground level, I feel like it's difficult, and it's rare. Not saying it's impossible or people are not doing it, but I feel like it's rare.
Alright, so
just come to the show.
Oh no, I'm definitely gonna do that. And likewise, oh yeah, we can have this going on.
Let's come to the show.
And I will tell you the same. Like next time we are rocking somewhere in the city, definitely man, come out and check us out and what we do. Have you ever been to 606 Subterranean Tuesday nights?
I think you were just there. Yeah. No, I think it was it Monday?
Monday.
No, that would have been the Petty Gang.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's the fan man too, man. Shout out to Petty Gang. We actually got some new music from the homie D2G. and then we might pop into the mix a little bit later on here today. So yeah, man, the Petty Gang group is definitely one. But 606, man, it's every Tuesday night. It's the longest running hip hop open mic, period. Like not just in Chicago, but like period. This is the longest running joint. And these are, I mean, this is the place where, I mean, spitters go to spit. And actually, we're actually going to talk a little bit about the last showcase that I was at Sub T, and just kind of get into a little bit of that. But yeah, man, like definitely, man, if you go there, you see a lot of those shows, man. It's definitely one of those things that it can be done. And I also understand where you're saying like there are a lot of folks out there that are not doing it, or that are doing that are performing over the vocals, and there's a huge generation of us and a lot of artists out there that are not, and it is a preference for either side. Like, and I understand your argument. Me personally, that argument's not going to change, and I don't think it's going to. But I am willing. I am up for the challenge of getting that challenge in. All right.
Yeah, we mentally grounded.
Yo, and you know what, man? Side note to that, man. That's something, man, that I think is missing from a lot of folks, man. You like a lot of people find it hard to just sit back and have a disagreement and just be like, no, I'm not, like, and just be able to disagree and just move on from what we're doing. Like, we've had our piece. We've said it on both sides, and now we're gonna move on to the next spot. And it's all love, yeah.
Like the last, super love, man. Like the last time I was here, we was talking about freestyling there, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like you're able to debate as long as you're aware of that knowledge. If you're not knowledgeable about the history, then you can't really, you're gonna be stuck in this one ignorant place. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm hoping. It's like, I get it, man. Boom, bap. You know, you go up there, you do it with no backdrop, no nothing. Just you, that hip hop, rap. You know, certain people throw they vocals on the background. You know what I'm saying? So, but I get it.
All right, so just moving on really quickly because we are going to get into this music mix here in just a few, but I wanted to take a minute, man, to talk about this was a 606 event that we did on a Saturday at Sub T not too long ago, where it was the song battle, right? Where artists were told to bring about 5 tracks, and we were going to go up song for song with a bracket style competition, and we were just going to go through with the person winning the night having a chance to open for the 20th anniversary for 606 in November with some major, like some big name artists who, you know, we kind of left up in the air just yet because we didn't want to give that away then. But I was lucky enough to be one of the judges for this event, and there was a lot of dope talent that came through there that night, man, and just really rocked out. There was some trash that came through there that night too.
Yeah,
like, there was some straight up woo.
Teriyaki 12 was that?
Man. No, but I do, man. Funny enough, man. When he was here running around Chicago, man, he ran into one of the most peaceful people that I know, because had he ran into some of the other folks that I knew that was looking for him, it was a big problem. But but no, man. A lot of folks came up there and rocked, man. And I know T, man, you actually got up into the competition and fared well, I think, making it to the final round, you know what I'm saying, which is congratulations on that. And I must say, and I have to say that, not because you were my co-host, because there were a couple of moments when I was just like, yo, he not finna make it. Cause I was like, bruh, like, no, bro, what are you doing? Like, dude, like, I was having a moment, man. Like, yo, I can't believe you did that, bro. Like, it was a moment, man. But tell us a little bit about, man, your experience there that night, man, and really like how that competition went for you.
No, overall, it was a dope experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was something different. You know what I'm saying? I'm so used to actually entering competition where it's, hey, you know, freestyle, this, and this. And that was actually like, yo, we gonna compete best song against best song. Now, one thing I will say was based off the flyer. Now, I respect all the judges because all of them are heavy up there, SLT, heavy in the hip hop community, all of them. So, based off the flyer, when I seen all genres of music, I was thinking there was gonna be R&B singers there. I'm thinking it's gonna be people doing spoken words. You know, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking, hey, let me do my rock stuff. Let me bring my guitar. Let me do this. So I got real gutsy with some of the stuff I was doing. That's what you're saying. I got real gutsy with some of the stuff I was doing.
The limit on that.
But I'm gonna say this. I felt like a lot of people in the crowd was rocking it, but it was based off of judges. not based off of like, hey,
I mean, it was.
it was a little bit of everything.
With all of the judges, like all of us said, like, the crowd participation, like how you get the crowd moving is going to definitely weigh into what our decision was. But there was a lot of other stuff going into that.
There's a lot of other elements into that. But truth be told, like I said, if I would have really took that into heart, I would definitely run my hard hitting his tracks, because I felt like he said, some of the competition that was kind of weak, so I didn't bring out my A game. You know what I'm saying? Right. But at the same time, you're not supposed to sit up there and do less when somebody else do less. You know what I'm saying? You do your best. So that was my fault, and I own up to that. I'm not about to sit up there and bring out my big guns, but when it came down to doing what I had to do, I did what I had to do. That's that much I will say.
I will say. So I gotta say this, man. That first round, the guy he went up against was I don't know where he was from, but he was some foreign guy who came up and just decided he was just going to rock out, but he had this whack beat and he wasn't catching the flow of said whack beat. So you got an offbeat beat, you got a whack flow, no cadence whatsoever. It was just trash on a rock level. And I saw the wheels turning in my man's head because he's standing by the booth, and I'm like, I know what he's about to do. And so you pulled out a record. This is actually one of my favorite records of yours, but it's like he was singing and whatnot. And it was cool, it was a dope record, but you left after that trash performance, you left every other judge there like, yo, you think we should bring back the dude that lost in the first round? And I'm thankful because I was like, yo, no, we said it was going to be round for round. Who you get is what it is. And he won that round by default just because he was better than. But that first record, I was like, yo, nobody's seeing what you can really do with this. And so he won that first round. After that first round, was over and we took a little hiatus, like I just told him, like, bro, you realize you almost lost this one. And he came back and he killed the rest of it. It was dope. Made it to the final round. And I think the guy who overall won the competition, like, just outright just had a better overall showing throughout the night. But man, that first round was terrible, bro. Like you took major L, but I was sitting over there hanging my head for the longest. Like I can't even look at this dude right now.
Like I said, like that was one of the things that I feel like, I had to bring my A game. When you came up to me and so you know what? Like I felt like it was one of me personally. I didn't feel like it was bad. Like I didn't feel like it was bad.
Right.
But I just felt like it was one of the songs that was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
Wrong time.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I saw that flyer and I'm thinking to myself, all genres of music welcome. I'm like, I'm about to kill it. I'm about to show rock. I'm about to do everything.
I got the guitar. I got the flute, harmonica.
But I had to think realistically. Like, we up north. It's up T. This is a hip hop, venue.
Yep.
I wasn't thinking when I did it, but overall,
I knew he was coming with the guitar. He told me he was coming. I told him to bring it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was gonna come out the gate like that. I was just like, bruh, come on, man. Like, wrong time. Wrong time. Like, foul. If I could have restarted, I was like, he tried it. It worked. He knows not to do it again. So, before we get into this music mix, man, let me ask you, when is your next show, man? When are you performing again live in the area?
We're working on that right now, man. We're looking at sometime mid-September. It's going to be the second annual homecoming concert. Last year, this company based out of Florida booked me, and they wanted me to headline, so that was the first, obviously, annual homecoming concert. I'm going to try to keep that rolling, and right now, September looking like the best bet based on the schedule. So expect that sometime September, huh?
Gotcha. How often do you do live shows? Like,
it all depends, man. Like, my schedule is so crazy. Like, I think last year October I probably did like 5 shows. I think like a week, and then some months I just go a whole month without doing the show. So it's very inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? I don't have like I gotta do a show because I don't want to water down my brand. First off, you know what I'm saying? But I don't have no basis or standard in place. I gotta do a show every month, so it's very inconsistent.
Definitely want to watch that brand, man. It's a very important run. It's something that I think that we learned over years of just doing it and getting tired of doing it. It's like we got to that point too where it's like, we're only doing shows that pay X, Y, and Z, and those shows were few and far between. But the money was good. It was a great showing. Then we got back to like, people in the area are acting like they don't know who we are, what we do. So we went back to where we were doing a show a month, just at least a show a month, just to show and prove and remind heads like, yo, we out here. Now it's like, all right, so we got the tour coming up in September. We got so we got 2 weeks hitting the Midwest. We got another tour coming up in November, and then some other stuff. But like, yeah, like it's definitely one of those. Like, I think coming up we've got 4 shows in August at least. I know we're hitting up. I know we're in Columbus this weekend, man. 2x2 Hip Hop Fest. Only group actually invited back 2 years in a row, which is huge blessing. And they gave us a prime spot too. We're going right before the first headliner. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out. Get a chance to go down there and do that again. It's an all elemental festival. 2 stages, b-boys, rap, MC competitions, man. It's gonna be a whole big thing, man. It's gonna be on, man. It's gonna be great, man. I was just looking at the photos from last year, man. It's like, yo, this year's gonna be crazy. Shout out to the homie Alfred Banks coming up from New Orleans for the festival. The homie Marcel P. Black from Baton Rouge, who's also been on the shows, coming up for that festival, man. It's gonna be a lot of talent hitting that stage this weekend, man. So it's definitely on that. So yeah, you'll hear a little bit more from me about that, and we're definitely gonna make sure that the next time our guest in here does another show, he gives us that information so that we can plug y'all into it, so that y'all can come out and catch that show as well. All right. And so what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna get into some music, and we're actually gonna get into some exclusive joints right now. This first joint that we're gonna throw into this mix is coming all the way up from Mississippi. All right, coming out of Jackson, man, with the homie Silas. Like, he's got a new project dropping in October, and he sent me a couple of singles. Like, yo, we haven't officially dropped these singles yet, so we're gonna give it to you first, so that you can play them and see what it do. So this first joint we're gonna play, man, coming from the homie Silas out of Jackson, Mississippi, called "Glow Up." You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna get into maybe one of his older joints. We're gonna toss in some of that Hunnid. And then we're just gonna vibe out here for a little bit, man. Let this music get you, all right? So once again, man, you're listening to Coffee Breaks right here on Que4.org. That's QUE4.org. You can also catch us on iTunes or the TuneIn app. Search Q4 Radio, and you can also catch us on your AM dial at 1680. This is Mel L, T-Rex the Beast, sitting in with the homie Hunnid right here on Q4. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick little PSA since we are back. Just a quick reminder that all clothes ain't for everybody.
They not.
It's something you just need to remind people, especially around this time of the year. Sometimes just certain things that you want to put on, that you feel like you should be able to put on, that you might not want to put on. Like, and this isn't just for any particular type of person. Like, this can go for anybody. Like, I ain't been to the gym in about a month, so when I decide to go outside, nothing but a wife beater, like, I know I shouldn't be doing it, but sometimes I need to be reminded of that. Speaking of reminder, yo, we got a call coming in, so we're gonna take a quick little moment. We're gonna make sure we are set to take that call. Let's see who we got popping in. Yo, what up, though? Hello, can you hear me now? Anyone? Yo, I think the homie T-Rex just hung up on somebody.
I did.
Low key. Oops.
What?
No, my bad. Alright, well anyway, so we gonna keep it going. So back to what I was originally saying.
No.
So, I mean, you gotta be quicker on that mic, man. There it is again. Go ahead, grab that. Let's see if we can try this again.
Cool.
Nope, over there. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
How about now? Can you hear me now? Are you out there? What up? Really? So you just really didn't want to talk to us? You just called on the phone just cause? Alright, cool. I didn't want to talk to you either. Alright?
I've been playing on my phone.
You play all you want to. Like, I got a bell right here that is just waiting for me to just be like, yo, let's get it. So again, one more time before we hang up. Are you there? Can you hear me now? No? Good. So, yeah, basically, man, everybody can't be wearing everything, man. Sometimes you just need to be mindful of putting it away. Or if you are going to put it out there, just be ready to be talked about. Like, I know every time I go out there and I let the gut out, like, I'm expecting somebody to say something about it. I don't mind it because I like pointing out the negative about other people too. Now, I love to be able to point out your positives because, I believe there's good and bad in everybody, and I can look at any and every person on this earth and find something good about it. But I can also look you up and down and find something bad about you, and I'm good at exploiting either side. So come at me if you want to, is what I'm saying. I know, I just basically took a whole long way of saying, like, look, if you're going to wear what you're going to wear, just be prepared for what comes next, is what I'm saying. All right?
That was a Who Won't Smoke intro. That's all
Right,
that was.
that's all that was.
Who want it? Come get it.
Yeah,
All that was.
Yeah, that too. But I also, I mean, I play that song, man, and, you know, again, like, hit the reunion, man. You got a bunch of folks out at the pool or just walking around, and you go out to the beach on some of these days, and some folks just out there just letting out some stuff that, you know, probably weren't meant to be let out. So just a reminder that while you should be comfortable in your own skin, not everything just because they make it in your size is meant for you. All right, that's what I'm saying. All clothes ain't for everybody. All right. Seriously, we could have kept this going for quite a while, but unfortunately, man, we're about at that time of the night where we got to go ahead and get ready to say goodbye. So, with that being said, just one more time, man, Hunnid, tell the people, man, where they can find you out on social media, so we know how to keep up with you, man, and find out when shows is coming.
It's a one-stop shop for me, man. You can go to the website, keepithunnid.com. That's 2 O's, no zeros, and you can find Twitter, Instagram, all that on there. But just for people who don't know that, Twitter and Instagram is Hunnid_CCG. But you can go to the website, you can get everything, keepithunnid.com, 2 O's, no zeros.
Word. T-Rex, man, what about you, man? Where can people find you?
For all social media needs, you can follow me at T-Rex the Beast 1. That's T-Rex the Beast and the number 1. Don't forget the Beast 1. Also, apologies for last week. I was supposed to drop a playlist that I'm going to be dropping tonight. I'm dropping it tonight. Beats. It's going to be called Rido, Angelo, and the Cold Case Files of Detective Pretty Boy. So I'm dropping 8 beats, dropping them tonight on my website. It's an RPG.
I'm sorry, can I get that name one more time?
It's Rido Angelo. It's Devil Summoner's Rido Angelo, Cold Case Files of Detective Pretty Boy.
Is that one title?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
not like
It's supposed to be based off of this anime RPG.
Don't be a menace,
title.
bro.
That sounds like Netflix titles.
So basically, it's Devil Summoners. Devil Summoners is
that sounds like an 8-part movie.
Is this the anime joint again?
Yeah, it's the anime.
Gotcha,
joint.
gotcha.
I did
Alright,
get a chance to
make
drop
no
it
sense.
last
Alright,
week.
cool.
Can you give me the title again? One time?
Can
So-
you spell the title?
Okay, so look, it's long, man. It's long, but it's gonna be Devil Summoners.
I don't know what that is.
It's RPG anime.
Okay, Devil Summoners. Okay.
So it's same people who made Shin Megami Tensei. It's you got Nocturne, you got Digital Devil Saga, Persona.
Okay.
So basically, it's a spin-off of one of the brands they got. So it's Devil Summoners, the Cold Case Files of Detective Pretty Boy, Rido Angelo. So Devil Summoners, yeah, it's a long title.
Basically, you can find it on the website.
So yeah,
Go to the website.
if you click on my Instagram, the link is in the bio. It's trxthebeast.wixsite.com/TrexTheBeast1.
Word. Alright, of course, and you can find me Instagram at Shy Coffee Breaks. You can also find me on Instagram at Misfits Mel. That's MISFITZMEL. You can also find the Microphone Misfits on Instagram and Mike Misfits on Twitter. Misfits Mel, pretty much anywhere you want to find me at, because I ain't gonna check too many of them, no way. But I will say, when it comes to this show, man, the Coffee Breaks, man, I check that page faithfully on a daily basis. When it comes to personal stuff, like, I definitely don't check that one that often. But when it comes to the business, man, the Microphone Misfits, Coffee Breaks, you can find me on any of those at any given time. That's where I check to pick up new music. And of course, any of you guys out there that got some music you think will fit this show, feel free to send it in to shycoffeebreaks@gmail.com. Right? We are open to listening to anything, and if you are willing, I am always happy to give some feedback on what I thought about your records. You know, it's not always going to be positive, because you know, some of y'all need some harsh criticisms. Now, and it's not that it's got to be a particular genre or a particular style. Like I have an ear where I can literally listen to music that I don't necessarily like, and still be able to critique it and get an honest outlook on it. Like, there have been songs that have been played on this show that I am not particularly fond of, but when I say that this show is about making sure that independent artists have a voice, that is exactly what I'm here for. So as long as you are not completely whack, regardless of the genre. I have no problem giving it a whirl. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, man, reach out to me, and if you are interested in being on the show, man, reach out to me. Let me know where you are, where I can find your stuff, and if we feel like you got what it takes, man, we'll definitely get you up here. And again, you've been listening to Coffee Breaks on Q4 Radio. This Coffee Breaks with Bob Rock, Mel L, T-Rex the Beast. Our guest tonight, Hunnid. Thanks for coming out. No Name. Appreciate you for stopping through.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Double CG that,
You know, this is a great night, man. A great night for entertainment. You know, the camera, the person working the camera over here is always good to see you. And of course, like walking in here, seeing one of my former students, you know, sitting here is so it was definitely an unexpected twist, but you know, definitely a fun night. And I thought as soon as he walked through the door, I was like, I'm gonna have to watch what I say. And then as soon as he sat down and he sat in a spot where I can't see him, I forgot he was here, and I just kind of let it go tonight. So, oh well, I don't work out there no more, no way. So I can't get me fired.
They got YouTube now. We all good.
Ooh, I'm saying, oh, man, there we go. So with that being said, again, you can catch us here next week where our guest Fury will be in the building. My co-host Bob Rock should be back for their next run. We're definitely looking forward to being back with you guys again next week. So I'll see you next Friday, 6 p.m. Let's get it. Peace.